So now that we've seen that the piano keyboard has black keys grouped in twos and threes, we'll know how to draw them onto our keyboard that we're making for our tissue box piano. So this part's a little bit tricky. I'm going to do it and then I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to choose to take a black marker for the black keys. And I'm going to start with my first purple line. And I'm going to take my black marker about halfway down and draw a line. It's not really straight, but that's okay. Then I'm going to connect that line to the top. So now it looks something like this. It's actually starting to look a little bit more like a piano key, but we really need to make it into a black key. So I'm just going to color it in. Oh, there's our first black key. So we're starting with the group of 2 black keys. So that means that we're also going to do the same thing on the next purple line. Here I go. Draw a little line across about halfway down. And then 2 lines up to the top. And zoom. And color it in. So there's my group of 2 black keys. So now what we have to do, this is the part that's a little bit tricky. The group of 3 black keys are not going to start on the next purple line. They're going to start on the one after it. So you've got to skip a purple line and then draw a black key down the next one. Looking good. This is the first of the group of 3 black keys. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the next purple line and the next purple line. So there it is. Here's my piano keyboard. I'm going to play it. Start at the bottom with Do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. There we have it. But it's not a piano yet. So this is where the tissue box is going to come in handy. I'm just going to clean up my markers. So now we're going to take our piano keyboard and our tissue box. And what you'll need is a glue stick because we're going to glue it right on top. So I'm going to get busy with that. Okay, so I've taken my glue stick and I've rubbed the whole back. Hopefully it's got enough glue on it. And I'm just going to put it on the top of the Kleenex box, which is really the bottom of the Kleenex box. And lay it down and just gently get it to stick. So now I've got my piano keys glued down to the bottom of my tissue box. See, I don't like to use the top because it's not as stable, it's not as sturdy. I've glued it onto the bottom, but now to make it into a piano, of course we need a back for it. That's going to look really a lot like a piano. So I've got a lovely piece of pink paper, but I've also got markers and stickers. So I think I want to decorate it a little bit before I put the piano back on the piano. So I've had some fun decorating my piano back with some magical fairies because I think piano music is quite magical actually. What I did is I drew a line right here before I started. I drew a line right there because there's not really, you might be sad if you decorated down here and they don't show, but they'll still be there. So now we have one more step to create our piano, and that is to get some glue. And I'm going to choose to turn the tissue box over. So you want to glue the side of the tissue box that's beside the black keys, not down here on that side. So put your glue over here, smudge it down, and then we're going to put our back on and we'll have our piano. And here's my tissue box piano, ready to play. So another idea I had was to make a tissue box piano out of 2 tissue boxes, mainly because I found these awesome tissue boxes with Scotty dogs. So they're going to be used to make my tissue box piano. I've drawn my keyboard just like I did in the earlier video, and I'm going to glue it onto one of the tissue boxes, only this time I'm going to glue it to the top part of the tissue box because there, it stands up like that. If I glued it to the bottom, oh no, my Scotty dogs are standing on their heads. So I'm just going to choose to put it on that side, the top of the tissue box. I'm going to get my glue and glue it on. So I've got my piano keys glued onto the top of my tissue box. And this is where the other tissue box comes in handy. Now this time, instead of taking a piece of paper and using it as a back, I really wanted to use the other picture of the Scotty dogs, just so that I would have so many dogs on my piano. It would be really fun. So what I'm going to do, and you might have to get a grown-up to come help you with that, is I'm going to get a pair of scissors, and I'm going to start with the opening here, and I'm going to make a snip to the edge, and then I'm just going to cut around, cut that top off. Oops. So here I have my picture of the Scotty dogs cut out that I'm going to use for the back. This time, however, I'm not going to use glue. I'm going to choose to use tape. You could use your glue stick, but just put a little bit of glue right down the bottom there, just to be glued on like that. You can't stick too much glue on because we need to leave most of the picture for us to see. So I'm going to take my tape. Again, you want to put it on the side of the keyboard that has the black keys by the back. So I've taped it down, but it's kind of flapping back. So what I am going to do is take some glue now and just put it along this rim, and then I'm going to smush it down so it'll be more stable. I'm using white glue for this one. You can use whichever glue you have in the house or whichever one you like to work with. I've got my glue there on that edge, and then I'm just going to gently pat it down, and that's just going to help it to stay in place. So there, you might have a tissue box where you really like the picture. I really like the picture on these because I love Scotty dogs. I love all dogs. So I didn't want to cover it up. My last piano, of course, I decorated with stickers. So I had these really pretty garden stickers in my home. And you can use whatever you have. You might want to use crayons or markers or some fun stickers that you have. Use your imagination, see what you can come up with. But I am going to do one last thing for those Scotty dogs. I found a sheet of stickers that had some dog bones on it. So they're such good Scotty dogs that I am going to give them a bone.